We are live on DSTV, channel 421, Go TV 144. This is Joy News Prime with me, Ernest Minu. Coming up, sex is a need both for the rich and poor. But when it has to be paid for, maybe an orgasm can't be delayed or if ignored if need be. Tonight, we take a look at the commerce of sex in the changing phases of Ghana's economy.
There have been increasing goods lately. To pay my rent to be difficult for me, and because of that, I've increased my price.
And so you think that is pushing your clients away?
Yeah, that's chasing my clients away.
Ghana ranks 111th after dropping 16 places on the World Happiness Index. Isaac Kofi from our research desk will be here with the figures.
The children are made to sit in a circular fashion, and one of them goes around the circle singing "Antwitru, Antwitru." They all respond, "Yay, yay, Antwitru, Antwitru."
We're bringing details of the Happiness Index and also our Ghana Man series, which is focusing on indigenous Ghanaian games. At 8 p.m., Charles will come your way with business, and Oreku will have the latest in sports. Charles, what can we expect in business?
Well, tonight, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana has increased policy rate to 17% amidst calls for a reduction in the depreciation of the cedi as well as the inflationary pressures around the country. There is a catch here, its impact on the cost of loans. We shall hear from the governor of the Bank of Ghana.
We also this morning have announced an increase in our policy rate. That action in itself should make our domestic assets more attractive and improve the incentives for investing in cedi-denominated assets.
And at 8:15, Oreku will have the latest in sports. What should we expect?
Well, it's been a big day in terms of the Black Stars as we finally hear from the technical advisor Chris Hughton, who is confident Ghana would beat Nigeria to qualify for the 2022 World Cup.
It is our aim to qualify for the Qatar World Cup, and we all have a duty to make that dream a reality.
We have details coming up shortly. This is the home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Stay tuned in. Thanks for staying with us. Now, if you're a man who lasts within 15 to about 20 minutes, your time with a commercial sex worker will cost you more these days. If you stay longer, be prepared to pay about at least 300 Ghana cedis. Because the key service providers, I'm talking about the sex workers, especially in parts of Accra, have reviewed their fees. They have been compelled by the prevailing economic situation to adjust the fees to survive. But that economic decision by some of these sex workers is beginning to backfire, as Latif Idris finds out in this special report.
There is no denying the fact that Ghana is in austere times as prices of goods and services continue to rise by the day. You may be focusing on food, on rent, and transportation. But one other essential sector of the economy, at least for some men, which is also being impacted, is the commercial sex industry. You'll find a client and a customer right behind me. This sector is being impacted, and some of the commercial sex workers have been telling me they've also increased their charges in the face of the current economic outlook of the country. Sex may be a deep expression of emotions, but on these streets, sex is a commodity. It is packaged, solicited, and sold to anyone who can afford. Accra's red light corners are busy every night with sex workers, their pimps, and men seeking sex. Here is a big market, but under the prevailing economic hardships, with the price of everything on a hike, how much is the fee for sex? I came across young and middle-aged women engaged in arguably the world's oldest profession. Sadly, however, it was painful to come face to face with girls as young as 16. On the streets of La Paz alone, I counted more than 100 women and girls. Hello? Would you like to talk to me? A number of them are migrant sex workers from Nigeria and Liberia. But don't be fooled. They may be sex workers, but they are not vulnerable. There's always someone tailing their movement on the street. I got to know that the hard way.
A friend of mine introduced me to a lady. She's in Ghana here. Okay. So the lady called me on phone. So we keep on talking. She asked me to come over to the Ghana and say I'm going to do social business with her. Okay. So I'm going to serve her, also for a month. Yeah. Then I do that for her.
Right in the middle of my interview with Becky, from nowhere, a pimp rudely interrupted. He ordered the interview be stopped and threatened to seize our cameras.
For me, I think they say my shot is 150. Yeah.
Shot for 150?
Yeah.
Is that how much you take for shot?
Yeah, coffee.
The rather rude disruption meant I needed to find Becky and reschedule the interview. This time in her hotel room.
I was, serving my own madam. Okay. Last time, yeah, because things were so moving good. I was so getting her money for her. Yeah. So as time goes on, once I'm through with her, so I'm not going to get my own money like that again.
For these migrant sex workers, Ghana is the country of choice. They are safe and profitable haven. Becky says she used to make as much as $137 a single night.
Sometimes a day I get 1,000 a day. I get 8 million a day for her.
You get 1,000 cedis in a single night?
Yeah, a day. For the
1,000 Ghana cedis?
Yeah, because those times I have my customers that pay me well. Wow. So those my contacts, I lost it. That's why it's so hard for me on my own time now.
Sex ain't cheap, but it's a lot of hard work.
Some people doesn't come quick. Yeah, and if you know you don't need to come quick in sex, you need to carry better money to come.
Okay.
Yes. So if you're not released, so you have to pay the girl when to make her happy, to make her bring her all her mind to do you fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
What is your definition of doing you fine?
How? Because you get some guys who be saying if you're making love with them, maybe they pay something like 150 for a shot, they fuck, they release. Understand? They make love with you, they're not releasing. So if you ask them to add money, they say, actually, I don't have any money to add with you. It's all my last card I used to give you. Okay, you still have that passion they do with them. Once your baby they pay you because the money you're expecting, give you the money. So all they have to do is just for you to stand up. If he stand up and the guy did not release, he didn't get himself. He knows that this is going to hook him here. Yeah, he's going to pay. He's going to feel the pain. So that's the only thing. Even though you do I'm fine, but as far as you know, you go say no do and way.
It means satisfying a lot more men or sticking to a single well-paying client for a whole night.
It depends the kind of man you met. Yeah, you get some people that you meet, they say, what I have is 50 Ghana, what I have is 100 Ghana. It depends the kind of man you meet. You start from 200 cedis, price in 300.
But it used to be 50 cedis. Why now 200 and 150?
No, it depends how you keep yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends how you keep yourself. You keep yourself where, yeah, you go see a better man that will come for you, that will pay you very well. Yes.
So that your class, you upgrade.
Exactly.
Once you keep yourself well, you upgrade to a certain.
Because once you start from small money, they tell them they always come with us same amount. But when you tell them, say, same amount I collect 200, 150. Yes. So if they're coming next time, they will bring that amount that they normally pay you.
Vivian has been on the street for the past 3 years, enough time for her to charge as a professional. She says the rate differs from La Paz, Odoko, Pokuase, and Cantonment. 50 cedis for what they call short time, but she could charge so much depending on where she is and who is asking.
I'm not making enough money.
So how much is for short for you? I know there are others who take 60, there are others who take 70. There are classes of people here.
Okay.
Everybody comes with his own charges. How much do you take for shots?
I took 200 Ghana cedis. When I first came in, I normally take 200 Ghana cedis. Yeah.
Life is becoming harder. There are fewer clients these days.
That December it was cool, but breaking January, things became difficult.
So it was good back in December. How many clients were you getting in a day so that you said it was good for you, for your standard?
Yeah, I wasn't getting much customers, but the pay was good.
Okay.
They paid me was good, and the rest of that, the pay was very good.
So say in a day, how many clients do you get to satisfy?
Maybe like four.
Four.
Clients.
And you're making good money.
Sure. There have been increase in goods lately. To pay my rent to be difficult for me, and because of that, I've increased my price.
And so you think that is pushing your clients away?
Yeah, that's chasing my clients away.
Oh, okay. So would you then reconsider a decision to increase your price and maybe cut it down to bring them in again?
No, I can't reduce my price.
Why is that?
Based on before I pay my rent every day. I buy food. Food now these days is very expensive. I buy food, I clothe myself, and the rest of that. So I can't reduce my price. I think they should reduce the increase in their food and the rest of them, because things are becoming very hard this period for us. Even the ones that are on the streets and the company workers, things have become very difficult for us. So they should reduce the price of some incomes here.
Apart from the obvious concerns she had with her identity,
Yeah, I'm not making any.
Vivian opened up to me about what she and many other colleagues consider red line.
I don't let people lick me. I don't also kiss people. I can't kiss him.
Okay.
And he can't lick me. That's just it. That's my rule. But every other thing.
That's a red line. Nobody crosses.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, you can suck my breast.
I think your job is very difficult.
Yes, it's difficult and stressful. Stress is too much. But what can we do?
But you said you are married.
I'm married. Yes, I'm married.
That makes this work even more difficult to do.
How?
Your husband is at home thinking my wife is safe, she's holding herself. Then you are here doing this business?
Yes. I don't have any other option than to.
But your husband is there, he's supposed to take care of you.
No, he's not taking care of me.
From 60 Ghana cedis, she has now increased her charges to 100 cedis. How much do you charge?
100 cedis.
100 cedis for how long?
Shots.
How long is short?
Let me say 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yes.
Sex is a need both for the rich and poor. But when it has to be paid for, maybe an orgasm can be delayed or its need ignored. Perhaps the expression life is hard, as we say it in this part of the world, is beginning to manifest now more than ever, as the reality now begins to hit at the most unlikeliest of places, the commercial sex industry. Latif Idris, Joy News. No, yo, hold on. Yo, V, I've got 150 for shorts. Would you take it?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
So, Latif Idris, Joy News, and I'm doing this from La Paz. You can have it.
Give my money.
So what makes you happy? Well, I want you to go onto our Facebook page and respond to this question because we'll be bringing you details of the rankings shortly, the World Happiness Rankings shortly. But first, there's a development that has just come in. John News is learning that the Ghana Health Service will cease testing of COVID-19 at the airports. Let's get some more detail on this. We're joined by the Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Esiedu Bekwin. Thank you very much for your time. You're on John News Prime. So which categories of persons are affected and when does this kick in?
Thank you very much. So we are not saying we are ceasing. I think what is clear is that if you have people who are fully vaccinated, then you are likely to get more exemptions. I think that is what we want to put clear. Okay.
So persons who have been fully vaccinated are likely to be exempted from testing at the airports?
Not testing at the airport. You see, we have 3 layers.
Yeah.
So we have people who are vaccinated, people who are coming with PCR test, and people who are testing at the airport.
Okay.
So all things being equal, then there should be an incentive for people who are fully vaccinated. And that's what we are talking about, that those people are likely to be exempted when our figures keep on as low as it's going.
So you're saying likely, and so it means that there's no conclusion on this policy?
No, as I said, you see, we keep on monitoring the figures. And I think that if you look at it, before January, we were considering a review of our guidelines. And then Omicron came, and it changed the whole dimension. So this COVID fight is a bit more fluid. So the idea is that if you keep on having this low number of figures being projected, then people who are vaccinated, they are less likely to have more infection into the country. They are less likely to have even severe form of disease. So it's an incentive to motivate our system or the population to be more vaccinated. And that's how come they are likely that if you are vaccinated, then you may be able to have no test by way of PCR or even at the airport. So, I mean, those are things that we want to push across so that it's an incentive to be vaccinated before you enter the country.
Is it clear to you at this stage when this might kick in?
No, as I said, you see, there's a whole task force who have been looking at the COVID situation over the past week. We keep on monitoring it, and I think that if the figures keep on becoming that low, then the idea of easing, which is going on in other countries, will be considered in the country. And I think that our main focus is to kind of enhance vaccination, because vaccination gives us the best resource that we need. So that's the situation we are looking at. If people are more vaccinated, then they are more likely to be exempted from some of these charges or some of these tests that goes on at the airport or before you enter the country.
And as far as the vaccination drive is concerned, how well are we doing?
So it's both ways. See, for now, if you look at our protocol, you can only enter when you are fully vaccinated. That is, if you are a foreigner. If you are a Ghanaian, then in that case, you can enter, but then you'll be vaccinated at the airport. So what we are saying is that we want all Ghanaians to be vaccinated, whether you are within the country or outside. And then if there are any exemptions, then you're going to benefit from it. For now, we have actually vaccinated a little over 13 million people have been dosed. We are hoping that we can actually get about 20 million Ghanaians vaccinated by the middle of the year. It's a tall order yet, but we think that should be the direction. If you want restrictions, the main issue is that people should be vaccinated. Other countries that are having easing in their restrictions, they have high levels of coverages. The UK has over 80% coverages. So they can actually talk about easing of their restrictions. So one sure way that we can talk about easing is when you have high vaccination coverages. And we are hoping that some of these incentives will get people to vaccinate.
Very well. Thank you very much. That's Dr. Franklin Esiedu Bekwin. He is Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, joining us with the very latest on COVID-19 protocol and its management, especially at the airport. We'll bring you more on this subsequently shortly. But Ghana became the 111th country after dropping 16 places on the World Happiness Report. In 2021, the country placed 95th in the World Happiness Rankings. Kofi J of our research desk joins me in the studio. Kofi, you seem very happy dancing to that song. I don't know if that is representative of what the figures are saying. But first of all, give us the indicators. What informs these rankings?
All right. So when it comes to the World Happiness Index, just like they say, happiness is relative. But when it comes to that of the world, you know, there are about 5 indicators that go into the happiness regression model. The first one is the social support. I'm sure if someone, you know, Momo used some cash that you don't work for, or government is saying that unemployment benefits, I'm sure a lot of people will be happy with it. Exactly. So freedom to make life choices. If you have freedom to make, you know, your own choices in life, I think that will also make you happy. Corruption perception index, you know, that's also one indicator that goes into the global happiness index regression. Then GDP per capita. That is, if you should share the national cake, how much are you getting? If I'm getting a bigger portion, I should be happy. Then social support is just like the you know, support that we receive from. So now let's look at the rankings. So we've been tracking this from 2015 to 2022.
Okay.
So the green line is the total number of countries that were ranked in that year, and then we look at the orange, which is Ghana's rank, you know, in the year under review. So if you look at 2015, for instance, there were 158 countries ranked, and Ghana was 114.
Okay.
So
we're pretty much happy people.
Exactly. So the wider the gap, you know, the more happier Ghanaians are. The more happy Ghanaians are, you know. So look at 2016 for also. We ranked 157 countries, and Ghana was placed 124. You could see that the gap was closing.
Yeah.
So Ghanaians were worse off when it comes to the happiness index. Then 2017 was our best. So when 155 countries were ranked and we were 131, and the gap closed. And then we had 2018, where the gap dropped. Exactly, the gap started opening. Ghanaians, you know, were relatively not happy from 2018. 2018, 156 countries were ranked, and Ghana was ranked 108. And then in
it's been dropping since then.
Exactly, exactly. And then we were doing relatively well, you know, being ranked 180 out, 98 out of 156. That was good, and then 98. But if you look at the 2022 figure, Ghana has been ranked 111 out of 146 countries, you know, in this year's global happiness index.
Okay.
So it means
that's a marginal increase if you compare to
we've lost 16 points.
16 points. Exactly. But if you look at it, I mean, on the face of it, it appears there's an improvement from the 2021.
So the 2021, there were 149 countries, and you were ranked 95. I mean, that was better.
Okay.
This time around, 146 countries, and you are 111. Okay. Meaning you are getting closer to the bottom, and that makes you worse off.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And let's look at African countries ranked ahead of Ghana. So in the whole of the African country, Mauritius, you know, if you are looking for happiness, they are the most happy, you know, they're happiest actually. 52 globally. So Mauritius is ranked ahead of Ghana, Libya, Ivory Coast, our neighbors, South Africa, Gambia, Algeria, Liberia, Congo, Brazzaville, Morocco, Mozambique, Cameroon, Senegal, Niger, Gabon, Guinea, and then Ghana being ranked 111 out of 149 countries across the globe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Kofi, thank you very much for bringing us those details, as always, helping us to understand. Are you happy?
Well,
relatively. Really? Well, it means what?
Happiness is relative, Ernest.
Are you happy, Kofi?
When I heard the song, I was happy, so I was singing it.
Okay. So I've been asking you, are you happy? And I'll take your responses from Facebook. In the wake of this development, where we dropped 16 points on the World Happiness Report, we asked you if you are happy and what makes you happy, especially in recent times with all the economic challenges that we have. What is your current status? Let's take some of your comments on Facebook. Let's see how you've been responding to this. And we have a very beautiful picture there of Ghanaians happy. This must be one of the World Cup, visuals there. This one says, even the word happy ain't happy in Ghana here. The president is not happy. The IT specialist, Baumia, isn't happy. Even witches are not happy in Ghana. How do you know that? Kojo Citizen says, it is the likes of media houses like yourself that make people unhappy. Really? How is that? There are other great news in Ghana, but you fail to report them. Well, it happens, we report, Kojo. We're just doing our job. Sorry if that makes you unhappy. You can't wait until life isn't hard anymore before you choose to be happy. I'm happy not because of what is around me, because it's a choice. And this reminds me of Nightbird, who died after battling cancer. Carol says, there's no common joy in the ancient kingdom of Umofia. The only joy keeping us sane is the joy of the Lord. Amen. Gus Kakari says, how can Ghanaians be happy as a nation by insulting each other with no respect for anyone at all? It all counts. Yeah, indeed. We need to respect each other. Rosalind says, even the 95th position is caused by us because we have been smiling when taking pictures. Pictures they mistook for happiness. Okay, so we have happy pictures, beautiful pictures, but we ain't happy. Hassan says, the city is too weak. How can we be happy? Oh, really? Dear FIFA, please, we want the centenary position, 100. Well, this wasn't done by FIFA. Niyama. God knows says, happiness in Ghana is retarded, especially in March, a month of broken records. Okay, so that's what you've been telling us on the happiness index. And of course, we continue to engage you on what you've been saying. Let us know whether you're really happy and what makes you happy. You're watching Joy News Prime with me, Ernest Menu, and we continue with our Ghana Month series. And this week, the focus is on Ghanaian indigenous games. We tell you about the Antwetwe game. To play this, one must maintain all-round alertness, else you pay by taking a hit at the back. Antwetwe is a communal game usually played by young people to while away time. For our Ghana Man series today, focusing on indigenous Ghanaian games, my colleague Justice Bedu went to the Kwabenya MA5 school here in Accra to find children who still play the game.
Pupils of the Kwabenya Atomic MA5 school playing the game of Antwetwe. They form a circle and one of them hovers behind them with a stone in hand. Rest in a circle, all of them down on their knees, clapping.
The players must be 8 or more, from ages 5 and above. A cloth is needed for the game. The children are made to sit in a circular fashion, and one of them goes around the circle singing Antwetwe, Antwetwe. They all respond, yeah, yeah, yeah. Antwetwe, Antwetwe, yeah, yeah, yeah. Obi babewo, yeah, yeah, yeah. The song is repeated as many times as one goes around the circle.
Antwetwe is an Akan folklore game. The game's name, Yamfa Antwechi, literally means it has not been put behind you.
The rule of the game is that for those seated, nobody should look back. The moderator then goes behind one person and puts a cloth behind them. The first person should have a way of knowing when the cloth is put behind him or her so that he can be the new moderator. If the person is that absent-minded, the moderator then lightly hits the back and they all laugh. The game continues until they decide to stop.
My name is Joyce Quay.
Joyce Quay, the head teacher here, is one of the people trying to keep children here focused on Ghanaian games.
With the onset of technology, a lot of our children have lost track of our traditional games like Ampe, Owari, Ludu, Antwetwe, and the rest. But once in a while, we organize such things so that our children here would not lose our culture entirely. So today, for instance, we did Ampe, Antwetri, Drafts, and Owari.
Like many other games indigenous to Ghana, Antwetri is almost lost. And if nothing happens soon, it would only be a matter of time that no one would hear or know about this game again. Justice Baidu, Joy News, Accra.
Now, government has over the weekend been contemplating a review of some of its flagship programs in a bid to address the current economic hardships. Although details are scanty, government officials say President Akufo-Addo approved a number of far-reaching measures. But even before details emerged, former President Mahama has been accusing President Akufo-Addo and his administration of superintending over general incompetence, corruption, and waste of scarce resources. Speaking at a ceremony to launch an app for TAME members here in Accra, Mr. Mahama said the president only misled Ghanaians with his mouth-watering promises to vote him into power.
We have gathered for this launch at a time of great economic and social distress for the people of Ghana. The Akufo-Addo-led government that came to power on the back of mouth-watering promises to make life easier for Ghanaians and ensure rapid development of our country has so badly mismanaged the economy that we have been plunged into the most debilitating economic crisis in about 4 decades. Indeed, we all recollect some of those mouth-watering promises, including one by the current president to transform this country, Ghana, within 18 months. This crisis into which he has led us has spawned hardship and suffering for our people on a scale never witnessed in the 30-year history of our Fourth Republic. Daily price increases, fuel price adjustments, and nose-diving currency, which has rather arrested the person who said he would arrest, he had arrested it. The dollar has rather arrested him, and so we're looking for him, we can't find him. I asked the IGP if he had the key so that we could find where our vice president was, and he said he doesn't have it, and he doesn't know his whereabouts. General incompetence, corruption, and waste of scarce resources have combined to make life simply unbearable for the generality of Ghanaians. General incompetence, corruption, and waste of scarce resources have combined to make life simply unbearable for the generality of Ghanaians. No group is perhaps harder hit than the young people of this country. The issues that affect the youth of Ghana who dominate our population are many, and in these times of severe economic downturn, they have inevitably been worse off than perhaps any other demographic group in Ghana.
This is Joy News Prime with me, Ernest Minu. We're taking a break. When we return, we'll bring you some more stories. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us here on Joy News Prime. Now, a private citizen, Kosi Senyo, wants the General Legal Counsel to disbar former acting director of the Ghana School of Law, Maxwell Opoku-Agyeman. A report by a committee of inquiry set up by the General Legal Counsel found that Maxwell Opoku-Agyeman illegally admitted 10 students into the law school, leading to his withdrawal from the school. Kosi Senyo also petitioned the Inspector General of Police to arrest and prosecute him. Well, Mr. Opoku-Agyeman is currently under consideration for the appointment to the appeals court, but this is being challenged as a result of these developments. My colleague Kweku Asante joins me via Zoom with some more detail on this petition. First of all, Kweku, give us some background to this story.
For this decision by this private citizen to petition the Chief Justice is quoting Section 16A of Act 32, which empowers the General Legal Counsel to remove a lawyer from the role of lawyers without even holding disciplinary inquiry. And to quote that specific portion of the law, it says, the General Legal Counsel may direct the Judicial Secretary to strike off the role of lawyers without the holding of a disciplinary inquiry, the name of any lawyer who has been convicted of an offense. So the General Legal Counsel had constituted a committee that had established that Maxwell Opoku-Agyeman, then acting director of the Ghana Law School, had admitted 10 students illegally to the school. And the General Legal Counsel had directed that those 10 students be withdrawn. We are told that action has since taken place, and Mr. Maxwell Opoku-Agyeman himself who was then acting director of the Ghana School of Law, was also withdrawn from that position, which he is not serving currently.
Okay.
And so the basis for this claim that he should be removed is a fallout from that investigation that the General Legal Counsel conducted itself, and the results which impugned his integrity to that effect.
And just for clarity, what is the legal basis for his petition to the General Legal Counsel seeking that he be disbarred?
So, according to this private citizen, the specific act that Mr. Masolo Opoku-Agyeman is said to have done in his position as acting director of the law school is not moral. It's not up to the standard that lawyers and legal practitioners are expected to do. And so he quotes specific sections of the law, regulating the profession, the legal profession, to back his claims. And let me read some part of it. It says,
okay.
My Lord, evidence on the website of the council shows that other lawyers have been severely punished by the disciplinary committee of the council for simple offenses. And so the offense committed by Mr. Masolo Opoku-Agyeman and his two accomplices is a grave misconduct and makes them totally unfit to be lawyers in the first place and completely unworthy to remain on the revered role of lawyers.
And we know, so he's petitioned the police, the General Legal Counsel, but there's also Shraj. What does he want the commission to do specifically?
So he is saying that, the Shraj has some responsibility to investigate some of these matters that borders on corruption. And so that angle of Shraj's investigation is supposed to focus on whether there was some corrupt intent, some corrupt motives leading to the admission of those 10 students. Who are the other persons involved who the General Legal Counsel's investigation did not necessarily implicate or mention? He wants such a wide scope of investigation so that in the future some of these things will not recur. And so he wants Shraj to conduct some of these investigations to ensure that Mr. Masolo Opoku-Agyeman and other persons who may be accomplices, if any, are brought to light.
Quickly, thank you very much for bringing us those details of the petition. The petitioner himself is with us. He's on phone. Thank you very much, Mr. Kwasi Senyo, for joining us here on Joy News Prime. So you have filed these petitions to three major institutions, the police, Shraj, and then to the General Legal Counsel. What has been the response you've had since then?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yes. So what has been the response from these institutions you have petitioned?
Okay, I'm yet to receive any response from them.
Okay.
But I believe in due course, they will respond to my petition.
Your petition was filed when? Today?
Thursday.
It was filed Thursday. That's last week.
Please. Yes, please.
And one would say that, this issue was investigated by the General Legal Counsel, which then led to the withdrawal of Masolo Opoku-Agyeman. Why shouldn't that suffice?
Thank you very much. I am of the strong belief that the very offenses the investigative committee had found Mr. Masolo Opoku-Agyeman and his two other colleagues are so grave in such a way that it cannot, his withdrawal alone cannot let the matter end there. But rather, we need to take this issue very seriously, especially as they are lawyers who we expect in society to live a certain standard, when it has to do with their profession.
How far are you willing to go with these petitions, these issues that you are chasing?
I am willing to go as far as I can to ensure that this matter gets to its last logical conclusion. Now, when you read excerpts of the report from the General Legal Counsel, it's actually saying that a punishment or sanctions need to be handed over to these persons. But as it stands now, we are yet to read from anywhere that the General Legal Counsel has actually sanctioned these three people. So in the event that they do not do that, I will go to court to compel the General Legal Counsel to act on their own findings and the report and the various, decisions that have been made by the committee. I will go to court to make sure that they act on their report.
Very well. Thank you very much. We'll leave it here. That's Kosi Senyor. He is a petitioner asking the General Legal Council, SHRAJ, and the police to take action on Maxwell Opoku Agyemang, who is alleged to have illegally admitted 10 students into the Ghana School of Law. Now, former Attorney General and former Foreign Affairs Minister Obadiah Asamoah says the Supreme Court erred in affirming the voting right of a deputy speaker whilst presiding in the House. The decision has left the two leading parties deeply divided, but speaking with Benjamin Akatwin in an exclusive interview, Mr. Asamoah said the ruling was wrong. He explains why.
I think that the Supreme Court is wrong. The Constitution tries to make a delicate balance between three competing values. One, the right of representation. But at the onset, the Constitution creates certain limitations on this right of representation. For example, in the conflict of interest situation, you're not supposed to, no member of parliament is supposed to sit on an issue that involves him. So conflict of interest is a limitation on the right of representation. Right. Then the Constitution also prevents the crossing of the carpet. You can't cross the carpet. It used to happen in the past. And the Constitution that we have now is intended to stop that business of people crossing the carpet, from time to time. And then we must not forget one thing, which is very important: the right of the MP to abstain. That is very crucial because that affects the issue of the standing order, which says if you are a deputy speaker, you cannot vote. Because you see, if you take the individual MP, an issue will come to Parliament, then he can say, I'm abstaining. I'm not voting on it. Right. Now, so nobody is suggesting that that is unconstitutional. So that position is intra-virus. It's within the law. Not outra-virus. It's not outra-virus. Now, the standing order, which says we collectively decide that when you are a deputy speaker, you must not vote. How can that be ultra-virus? If the individual can take that position and it is intra-virus, but the collective, in their power to regulate the proceedings of Parliament, they have that absolute power. They say that, look, we are deciding collectively that if you are a deputy speaker, you don't have the vote. How can that be ultra-virus? How did it come to that meaning of the Constitution?
On the economy, Dr. Asamoah said there's the need for both the minority and the majority in Parliament to reach an appreciable agreement on the controversial e-levy.
Levy is going to be an extra imposition of a burden on a population that is already overburdened with taxes. So you've got to be careful. And in any case, to get that, you've got to negotiate it. This idea of trying to, get it maybe by having decisions that will give the government a majority, it's not going to work. They really have to sit down and talk to the opposition about this matter. And the opposition, obviously, they also realize they need revenue. I mean, when they come in, if this government falls now and they come in, they need revenue. Right. Yes, so where are they going to get the revenue from? So I think it is possible to negotiate some kind of level of e-levy that is not too onerous and which is acceptable.
So in other words, you're not totally against...
No, I believe that...
But maybe the rate is what you're looking at.
I believe that we need to raise more revenue. That's one way or the other. And I think the e-levy is about the only way you can do it now. But the level, I think, is too high.
To other stories. Now, a rainstorm has wreaked havoc in the Obogi community in the Asante Achim South district of the Ashanti region. The rainstorm, which lasted nearly 3 hours Sunday evening, destroyed homes, schools and electricity installations. This wonderful report.
The roofs of some buildings were ripped off and others completely collapsed. The primary power transformer was also destroyed, as well as the electricity poles. Some residents say their source of income is in jeopardy because structures in which they ply their trade and vocation have been destroyed. Hairdressers, artisans and traders are among those who are affected.
I was in my room in the evening with my child when the storm wet my child and I. I was terrified, but we had nowhere to go.
I sent my child to the hospital yesterday, but due to the storm, I went home only to find the roof of my house ripped off by the storm. I had no choice than to wander around until this morning. I was laying on my carpet and suddenly my door opened forcefully due to the storm. Then the roof ripped off and the wood on the roof fell into the room.
The community is pleading with the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, and the local authorities to help them find a solution to their problems. Reporting for Joy News, Obidishie Ofori Amanfo.
You're watching Joy News Prime. We have showbiz for you after this break. Please stay with us. And I'll have to bring in showbiz alone today. Becky's not here. But the chief executive of Charterhouse, Theresa Ayoade, has advised Ghanaians to be, premier ambassadors of our culture in a conversation dubbed How to Strengthen Our Cultural and Creative Industries for National Development. Madam Ayoade stressed on the importance of placing value on one's culture.
No one can be a custodian of a culture apart from yourself. So if you do not respect what you have and put value on what you have, you will not see the right, you will not see the need to perpetuate it. So I think it's the value that we place on our culture, the pride that we have about who we are as Ghanaians. I mean, you are a global citizen, you're part of the world at large. That's why we speak English, because we need to communicate with the world at large. But as Ghanaians, we have our own local languages as well, So I think we haven't owned that aspect of ourselves as Ghanaians and worn it with pride. I mean, we see other African nations wear their culture with pride more than probably we do as Ghanaians. So we ourselves as Ghanaians need to be the first custodians of our culture, and it starts from the home. What do we understand about our culture, and how are we even bring up our children in our culture?
Madam Theresa Ayoade of Charterhouse speaking there. That's it for showbiz. Stay with us.
Tonight on Prime Business, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana increases policy rate by 2.5% to 17%. Of course, a move expected to bring inflation under control and slow down depreciation of the cedi. But cost of loans are expected to go up. We'll hear from the governor of the Bank of Ghana.
We also this morning have announced an increase in our policy rate. That action in itself should make our domestic assets more attractive and improve the incentives for investing in cedi-denominated assets.
We have more on our top story after commodities. Do stay with us. Well, as expected, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana has increased the policy rate, which is the rate at which it lends to commercial banks, by 2.5% to 17%. Now, this decision is due to the current pressures on the economy, the uncertainty about the economic outlook, and development in Russia and Ukraine, which has pushed fuel prices astronomically high. This is expected to control the rise in inflation and check the rapid depreciation of the cedi, but the cost of loans is expected to go up as a result. Take a listen to the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, explain the motives behind this decision.
We've made foreign exchange available to the market broadly, and we think all of that should help in terms of mitigating the pace of depreciation of the cedi. Now, these are all short-term measures, immediate measures that we are taking to address the matter. But we also this morning have announced an increase in our policy rate. That action in itself should make our domestic assets more attractive and improve the incentives for investing in cedi-denominated assets. So the significant policy rate adjustment that you saw is also aimed at strengthening the cedi. Some of the medium to longer term actions, you mentioned the domestic gold purchasing program. These are things that would impact the level of gross reserves in the medium term. We've made quite some progress in terms, I think we bought over 600 kilograms of Doré gold.
Meanwhile, banking consultant Anoto Achampon has indicated that he expects the policy rate hike to impact the market within the next 2 months. He's been speaking to Joy Business, George Rafi.
Now, I think we've said it over and over again that the movement of interest rate is either northwards or southwards. When it's moving northwards, the transmission rate is pretty fast, as opposed to when it's moving southward. Could it be because when you are moving southwards, you are moving in reverse, and therefore it's difficult to negotiate? But when you are moving northwards, you are moving forward. And so, again, I will expect the transmission rate to be far quicker and faster than if interest rate had moved southwards. So the 17% will reflect sooner rather than later.
Are we looking at maybe a quarter or maybe 2 quarters or something from your end to see where, maybe a quarter?
Within a quarter.
That is quite...
Yes, I'm afraid that is the fact that the reality of the issue, that when you're moving northwards, the transmission rate is faster. When you're moving southwards, the transmission rate is slower.
Away from that, Ghana will manufacture its own electric car from start to finish, actually, beginning 2023 next year. Now, this is a boost for the quest by the country to move towards the use of environmentally friendly vehicles. Manufacturers of the vehicle, Mana Mobility, have already engaged the Design and Technology Institute to partner in the process. We have more in this report.
The move by Mana Mobility to establish its presence in Ghana is influenced by the country's quest towards the use of clean energy and the promulgation of the automotive policy by government. This idea, when successful, will make it the first automobile firm manufacturing all its components in the country. Chief Executive of Mana Mobility Germany, Peter Schwarzenberg, told Joy Business all regulatory bodies are being engaged to ensure a smooth take-off. He was speaking after a stakeholder meeting to introduce the design and concept of the vehicle to some selected agencies in the capital.
But it will be something which is developed, produced here in Ghana, so from Ghanaian people for Ghana. This is a big difference to how normally an OEM would operate here in this country. So we want to do it here. And now the next steps are for the next 5-6 months, we are building some prototypes so that we can see also in real life and not only on PowerPoint. And as soon as we have the prototypes ready, comes a phase where you need to get the registration right, you need to legalize the car here in this market. So I would say somehow in spring, summer 2023, we are probably ready to get started with the production. That's the current plan.
Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority, Professor Alex Dodu, after the engagement, described the entry of Mana Mobility into the country as timely. He, however, called for more support for the local artisans.
one, we have capacity to check the quality of the vehicles, but importantly, we have capacity to actually develop the component manufacturing. Now that is where we need to have a national conversation, because that's where the money is. The guys are doing it, but we are not doing it according to standards, nor reproducibly, nor at scale. And I think it's about time we really wake up and say that, look, this is a lot of money for the Republic of Ghana. And how do we help? Some of the decisions may include, and it's beyond my pay grade, but I'll say it, may include literally supporting the guys in Swami Magazine and other places to actually just standardize and produce precision issues. Because why? These people are very smart businessmen and women.
The company is hoping to use the country to enter into other African markets.
And we'll see how that goes. But away from that, stakeholders in Ghana's social security industry have been meeting over immediate steps to extend pension coverage to the self-employed and the informal sector. This is because 10 million Ghanaian workers in the informal sector as we speak risk economic hardship as they are not under any social security coverage. Take a listen to the Minister for Employment and Labour Relations, Ignatius Bafo-Awuah, who says the relevance of SSNIT will be questioned if these numbers are not captured.
The trust was set up for workers. And when we say workers, we are not talking just about formal workers, but we are talking of workers in totality. So for me, all that while that SSNIT has been in operation, they have not actually been living up to their mandate in totality. Why am I saying so? We have roughly 12 million persons in work. And out of this 12 million, those who are enrolled in one form of pension or the other are less than 2 million. So it means that you have about 10 million persons who are working but are not on any form of social security coverage. And these people eventually at their old ages will turn out to become a burden on their wards. So I think that we should all give SSNIT the needed support to enable them to be able to implement this new project that they are bringing on board.
Meanwhile, the Director of SSNIT, John Ofori-Tinkran, has clarified that the trust not an investment channel, but rather an insurance scheme. He believes the misconception about the fund is a disincentive to capturing more workers under the trust.
It's quite different. And for us, the approach would be, how do we convince them that they are, of all the things that they could be doing with their money whilst they are actively trading or whilst they are working, of all the other the insurance schemes that they could be involved in, the SSNIT scheme is the best one that they should avail themselves of. I think if we're able to convince them and show them that that is indeed the case, then they themselves will come. I always give the example. The approach is quite different, and for us, the approach would be, how do we convince them that they are, of all the things that they could be doing with their money whilst they are actively trading or whilst they are working, of all the other the insurance schemes that they could be involved in, the SSNIT scheme is the best one that they should avail themselves of. I think if we're able to convince them and show them that that is indeed the case, then they themselves will come. I always give the example, at the other time I was even talking to my staff, and I asked them, how many of you here in this room heard of Men's Gold before it became famous? Before it became famous, and what I meant by that is before they went under. And almost everybody in the room said they did. So I asked them, I was talking to SSNIT people, so I asked them, how many compliance officers did they have? The answer is 0.
Well, that'll be all for Prime Business. I'm Charles Ayete. I'll leave you with international business numbers, after which we have sport with Orieku Ampofo. Do stay with us.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on the Joy News Prime with me, Orieku Ampofo. We're just 4 days away from the Jollof Derby as Ghana would be welcoming Nigeria here in Ghana, in Kumasi on Friday. And we'll be building out to that big game starting from tonight because 7 Black Stars players trained at the Accra Sports Stadium on Monday afternoon ahead of that World Cup playoff game that I mentioned earlier against Nigeria. And now the players include Abdul Manaf Nuruddin, Dennis Kosa, Fatau Isahaku, Edmond Ado, and then Thomas Partey, who will be acting as captain in the absence of Andrea Yu, Jojo Wallacott, and then Andy Yadom. Now the technical team comprising of acting head coach Otto Addo, technical advisor Chris Houghton, and then assistant coaches George Boateng and Didi Dramani were all present at the training session. Ghana is scheduled to play the first leg of the World Cup playoff against Nigeria at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium on Friday. And we got a little bit of a paparazzi picture for you that we showed at the beginning, demonstrating the players praying, these 7 players alongside the technical team. Now, what we do know is that the squad has not been confirmed yet officially. So we're left with doing a lot of inference and social media scraping to be able to get you an idea of which players would be playing against Nigeria. The official reason has not been stated yet. And so these were the 7 players who trained today. And that's Abdul Manaf Nuruddin on the far left, Fatau Isahaku wearing the number 7, Edmond Ado number 6, Jojo Wallacott, who was the goalkeeper of the Africa Cup of Nations, number 16, Thomas Partey, number 5, and then we have Andy Yadom. You can see Chris Houghton standing right by George Boateng, and then Otto Addo, who would be the head coach. There's Richard Kinson, and then there's also Didi Dramani, and that's the technical team in the grey shirt and the 7 players in the yellow shirt. But that would definitely not be all the players who will be representing Ghana in that Jollof Derby. What we do know is that some of the players are in transit and are moving, and also some of the players have their clubs confirming that they would be coming down to play for Ghana. So let's just quickly take a look at some of the other confirmed players who we know would be coming down to play for Ghana. And we'll be showing you pictures of that pretty shortly. But we do know that Afenejan of Roma, this was a picture of him boarding a plane this afternoon, and he should be in Ghana in about a few hours' time to join the Ghana team for the first time. This Christopher Entry-Adjei, he plays in Bochum in the Bundesliga, made 23 appearances this season, and his club confirmed that Ghana have indeed called up on the winger. That's Denis Odoi, spent a lot of time with Fulham in the Championship, but now plays in Club Brugge. His club has also confirmed that he's been called up for the international break by Ghana, and he says that he was a bit surprised at age 33 that he's been called for Ghana and to play in such a big game against Nigeria, and who knows, he could be in the World Cup later this year. This is Alexander Djiku of Strasbourg with his teammate Majid Waris. Now, we're not too sure of Waris coming down to play for the Black Stars. What we do know is that Djiku posted this picture that they are coming to Ghana, so we cannot confirm if Waris is in the squad. We know Djiku is definitely in the squad to face Nigeria. And that's Yao Yeboah posing after he was picked up at the Kotoka International Airport this afternoon. So these are the players that we do know would be involved. Of course, there are other names that have been mentioned across, but we cannot confirm that these players are indeed coming down. And of course, this has been made difficult because the Ghana Football Association have refused to name the official squad. We still await on that, but what we do know in terms of information release is that the Black Stars interim coach Otto Addo and technical advisor Chris Hughton touched down in Ghana over the weekend, and both believe the Black Stars have what it takes to beat Nigeria and secure a ticket to the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Joy Sports' Muftau Nabila has more in the following report.
The Black Stars will host the Super Eagles at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium on March 25 in the first leg of the FIFA 2022 World Cup qualifiers playoff. The senior national team is seeking to qualify to the World Cup for the first time since 2014. And Otto Addo, acting head coach of the team, says he and the boys are very confident of scaling the hurdle against the Nigerians.
We are only a few days away from playing our crucial match against our rivals Nigeria. We all expect Ghana to qualify for the FIFA World Cup in Qatar 2022. But that won't be easy, as we need to do our best to make it to this tournament. The players, the technical team, and the Ghana Football Association are committed to this task. We really want to make ourselves and the nation proud by qualifying for this upcoming World Cup. Matches between Ghana and Nigeria are always difficult, but we believe in our players, we believe in our strategies, and we believe in the unflinching support of all Ghanaians as we go into these two matches. We are Ghana, and we have what it takes to come out victorious.
Technical advisor to the technical team, Chris Hughton, believes this is an opportunity for the 3 times World Cup participants to make history once again.
I would like to urge Ghanaians to remain calm and positive about the team, because we strongly believe we have the quality, desire and hunger to achieve the results that we want. It is our aim to qualify for the Qatar World Cup, and we all have a duty to make that dream a reality. Ghana have done it before, and we can guarantee you that everybody associated with the Black Stars wants this opportunity again to perform on a world stage. This moment presents an opportunity to write history, and we are all committed to it, from the players, the technical staff, the Ghana Football Association and the government. We value your support. We are Ghana and we are ready.
The winner of the tie between Ghana and Nigeria over 2 legs will secure qualification to participate in the FIFA World Cup to be staged in Qatar later this year.
So, who would you support if your family is both Nigerian and Ghanaian? Well, Joy Sports' Asari Bediako has been speaking to the family of the Igbo king of Ghana.
The super, look, super and the eagle, sorry the eagle,
The players have great skills. Secondly, I just have a strong feeling that, they're going to make us proud.
I don't think Nigeria is going to win us because the history is going to repeat itself again. Nigeria is never going to beat Ghana. Ghana is going to beat them only one goal. We will go to their home, we will play 2-0 against Nigeria.
Have you ever seen Stars the Black before? This is Green Eagles. The green is the grass, the green represent Africa, and the eagle soil a lot, and the eagle carry weight and strength. What are you talking about?
Well, the Gangeria dilemma will show on Joy News on Wednesday, March 25th. Now, away from the Jollof Derby, Ghana's Black Maidens qualified to the next stage of the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup qualifiers after beating Senegal 4-0 on aggregate.
And Karima Abdullah here gave the ball to Princess Owusu, who wasted no time in order to slot it in to register Ghana's second goal of the day. Ndiaye, of course, disappointed and frustrated, could not hide her unhappy countenance. Ghana continued with their surge despite being shown the red card in the second half. They continued with their probing, their surging runs, and it earned them the second goal of the day. Ghana have now gotten the nod to qualify to the next round of the competition of the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. The qualification for the
So Ghana are winning there by 3-0 and then also 4-0 in aggregate, and would meet Guinea in the next round of the qualifiers. That's how I'll be wrapping up the sports here. You can get some more sports stories on myjoyonline/sports, or follow us on social media at Joy Sports GH on Instagram and Twitter. My name is Ore Kwampofo.
Sports segments was brought to you by
Soccer Bets, your best bets for sports betting. Shield acrylic paint.